Hi everybody, and we're coming up to playoff time in collegiate rugby, especially in the NCR group. Before we talk about that real quick, a couple of new shirts, so thank you. First of all, Cape Fear, really good sweatshirt. I like this one, Fear Rugby, with a quote from Yoda on the back, "Fear is the path to the dark side." Very nice. It's a very comfortable sweatshirt. I got the t-shirt as well right here, so that's cool. They gave me a ball as well. High school season coming up soon. De La Salle Spartans, so thanks a lot for that one. That was pretty awesome. And yeah, so we'll be putting that one up as well. And then also a new Kentucky shirt. There's one right behind me, I think, right up there. But a new one. And then kind of a unique one, which is, see if you can see that right, a season ticket to the St. Mary's games. So that's a cool one as well. And that's not too hard to display.
So I can just kind of prop it up somewhere. I'll figure it out. We'll leave it there for the moment. Okay.
This video is brought to you by Next Phase Rugby, which is an app that allows high school rugby players to connect with college rugby programs around the country. Those programs can be school supported, club, all kinds of different ones. 450 are already on the app, and thousands of collegiate hopefuls are also on the app. Download the app if you're a college, or if you are a high school player looking for a college, go to nextphaserugby.com. There's a discount code for the premium level for high school players at the bottom of the screen, and good luck with your college search. It's also brought to you by USA Rugby Foundation, which is an organization that supports grassroots rugby around the country, and your donation can help build this great game of ours. Also brought to you by Irish Rugby Tours. Touring is a great way to expose your players to the global nature of rugby. Go to Irish Rugby Tours. They don't just do Ireland. They do all kinds of different countries: Spain, Portugal, New Zealand, South Africa, the UK. That's just a smattering of what they can do for you. Go to irishrugbytours.com. And this video is also brought to you by Panther Rugby Academy, providing elite playing and training opportunities for players throughout the South and a more extended version of the South. Panther Rugby Academy, check them out. And I also want to thank a new kit provider, which is 8x8 Sports. You can't see their logo on this shirt, although you can see it on others, but there's the back of the same shirt because I have more than one. And several other great kit. We'll be having merchandise available very soon as well, so I'm excited about that. Thanks to 8x8 Sports. It's 8x8sports.com. Playoff time coming up. We're going to talk D1AA NCR, and we're going to talk Division 2, just about what's coming up and what does that mean. So there's only one play-in game in Division AA NCR, so we'll talk about that one. But this weekend, what is it? What means what? NC State plays UNC Chapel Hill. NC State wins. Pretty sure Southern. That's the Southern win right there. And if they do that, they have to play off with the SCRC number 3 team. So we don't know who that is, but we know 4 teams that are working to get there, which would be Kentucky, South Carolina, LSU, and Clemson. You see an article I have about how LSU pulled off the big upset over Tennessee. So 3 of those teams will get in there. So whoever wins the semifinal, get to the final, they'll be straight into that round of 8. And then the team that wins the third place game will also be there, and they'll play off with the Southern champion. Small conference in the South, that's why they do the playoff thing. But we'll talk a little bit about maybe a conference that feels a little hard done by. We'll discuss that. Mid-American Conference, they haven't got their playoffs yet. They're just coming up to the final group, but we pretty much know that final group's going to be Bowling Green, Louisville, Western Michigan, and Cincinnati. So then the question is, who goes to the playoffs? And it's straight up the winner of the playoffs, which are in another week. They will be going to the playoffs. No runner-up. Interesting, considering that MAC teams do so well nationally, but they've got conference. You got to win, right? Winning your conference, that's fine. And a lot of people just don't really complain about that. If you have a rule, basically win your conference, you're in. However, SCRC with 3 teams, even though they have the defending champion Kentucky Wildcats, we just talked about, boom, boom, boom. But they get 3 and MAC gets 1. The MARC starts their quarterfinals, so they still have some way to go in terms of deciding who's going to make the NCR national playoffs, as it will be the top 2 teams from the MARC that will go in, both of them straight into that round of 8, the quarterfinals. Right now we got the quarterfinals in the MARC, so they're going to have to get there, and then whoever wins the semifinals coming up later in the week, those are the teams that are going to go in. Who's left then? Rutgers, Virginia Tech, Temple, James Madison, Westchester, Delaware, Maryland, St. Joe's. Maryland versus St. Joe's probably the tightest game in the quarterfinals this week. Remember, St. Joe's just came out of beating Delaware by a point a week ago. Delaware might be poised to do something there. James Madison had a very good season, ended up essentially tied with Virginia Tech, because they did tie Virginia Tech. They lost out on the number 1 seed from their side of the bracket because of points difference, but that was about it. Still, all those teams that are the top 4, St. Joe's, Delaware, James Madison, Virginia Tech, I'm not saying that they're for sure going to win their games, but they do seem very close. And finally, the Liberty is having their semifinals right now, and UMass versus University of Connecticut, Yale versus Boston College. Winner is into the national playoffs. Losing team is out. So it's pretty clear, really. For the most part, win this weekend, you're in. Probably maybe a little bit of discussion on seeds in distribution, but not huge. Things a little bit more involved in Division 2 because we have 19 teams to keep track of, 6 teams going into a play-in, and then 13 teams in the round of 16 waiting for those 3 winners to come meet them. We know 1 team already in there. That would be Montana State Bobcats. They're already in. In addition, we know they're slotted directly in there. We know Norwich and Vermont are in. They're just playing each other to see which one is seated higher, but that's the championship in the NACR. New Hampshire plays UMass Lowell in the NACR third place game. The winner of that is into the playoffs in a play-in. The loser is done. In the MARC, 4 teams left. Towson, Salisbury, they play each other. Georgetown, Villanova, they play each other. And, I just realized, remember the big, 1985 collegiate final in basketball? Georgetown, Villanova won. Nobody expected them to win. Anyway, a rematch of that. All 4 of those teams are already into the playoffs. It's really just a case of who gets to go straight to the round of 16. Winning team in each semifinal straight to the round of 16. The other 2 have play-ins, so they're already in. So we know those teams as well. IUP versus Grand Valley State. They both won their conferences, and they're just playing each other for a seeding, which is kind of interesting. It becomes this Allegheny/Great Lakes 1 and 2. So it's just a way to just sort of do a crossover seeding deal. But they're both in as well, and they're both into the round of 16. So by my count, that gives us 9 teams that you already know are for sure into the playoffs. It's just a case of where they fit seeding wise. And we have a number of teams win this one game, win this weekend, like UNH versus UMass Lowell. You're in. UNC Wilmington plays East Carolina. Wilmington wins that game. They win the South. They're in. East Carolina, even with a loss, probably still in. So I think that those 2 are probably going to be your southern teams. Your southern runner-up goes into the play-in situation. Same deal, MSU Mankato against North Dakota State in Northern Lights. The winner goes into the play-in, but that's it. Winner goes in, and losing team does not go to the playoffs. Liberty starts their playoffs, and they still have another week to go. So semifinals this week, and then the final. Only the champion goes on. I talked to them. Some of the coaches are there about it, and they say what a lot of coaches say, which is, "Hey, it should always be conference champion should go through." NCR, not unique in this, but NCR does like to have more and bigger playoffs. 19 teams in Division 2. Do we really need 19 teams in Division 2? Can we do it with 8, a round of 8, or maybe a round of 8 with a couple of play-ins? Probably. But they like to have something bigger. Okay. But 4 seeds, all semifinalists from one conference seems a bit much. Okay, so we are going to find out almost everybody who's going to be in the Division 2 playoffs this weekend. We'll find out 17 of the 19 teams that are going in. Already we know 9 of them that are in. They might have to find out what their seeds are, but we know 9 of them that are in. That would be Montana State, Towson, Salisbury, Villanova, Georgetown, IUP, Grand Valley State, Vermont, and Norwich. We'll find out again the end of this weekend, maybe in a 2-game playoff, maybe it's just 1 game. The Southern 1 and 2 will know that, and it's not a playoff, it's the standings, but we'll know them. Northern Lights champion, that comes down to, as we said, Mankato and North Dakota State. Great Midwest, top 3 out of those 4 teams that are remaining are going to go on to the playoffs. The Gateway champion, we talked about that it was probably SLU, Southern Illinois, Washington University, and Missouri S&T are also in that playoff. And then the NACR number 3 team, and that's decided between New Hampshire and UMass Lowell. The winner of that, they're in. That gets you to 17 teams. And then we have to wait a week for the Liberty to figure out their playoff. It does look like it's probably going to go down to Marist versus RPI again. That was a close one last time. Might be a close one this time. And then SCRC, the winner of Middle Tennessee State and Ole Miss, will play Memphis in a week, and Memphis heavily favored in that. And that's how we're going to get the 19 teams in Division 2, but a big weekend obviously here. Thanks again to all our sponsors and all our patrons supporting the site and the information we put out on social media as well. Really, really helps. Go to goffrugbyreport.com/support-GRR to help us out. And we'll see you later.